Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we're talking about 5 EDC items that you can take with you on your camping or overlanding adventures. Now for those of you who don't know, EDC stands for everyday carry. Now while most of this stuff I do carry with me every single day, there's a couple of them that are just reserved for overlanding and camping adventures, which I do truly carry with me every day I'm out on an adventure. Bear with me, there's lots of bugs and flies out. It's early spring, so that's just going to be part of this video. But let's start with number 5, my Magpul Radius sunglasses. Now the reason why these have made it into my gear kit is I think eye protection is really important when you're in the outdoors. Now the reason why I chose these is they are the most comfortable, the most lightweight, and the most optically clear sunglasses I've ever owned. The polarization on them is great. Now, these would be great for, doing some hiking, doing some off-roading when you got the windows down, keeping that dust out of your eyes. Maybe you like to do a little Second Amendment stuff, shooting outdoors, and you want that eye protection. Just all around for the outdoorsman, these glasses are fantastic. Now, a bonus on these sunglasses is they also came with this really heavy-duty, rugged carry case. Now, normally, when you're looking for a good case for your sunglasses, you got to purchase that secondary. So good on Magpul for including that with the purchase. I was really excited, didn't expect that when I bought these sunglasses. And so I was really excited about that. Due to the nature of sunglasses, they're delicate, they're fragile. You want to keep them in good condition. So having a nice heavy duty case to keep them safe while you're out in rugged conditions is awesome. So that would be my number 5 item, sunglasses. All right, next up, let's talk radio communication. So what I've got with me is the Baofeng BF F8HP radio. Now, in order to use the full functionality of this radio, you do need to have your ham certificate. And so I will go ahead and link some information on how you go about getting one of those in the video description, kind of point you in the right direction. But what's really cool about these is, number one, they're very affordable. And so basically me and all my friends, we all have radios that are compatible with this. We typically use it more of a GMRS two-way type radio when we're on the trail communicating with our convoy, but this also can be, though it is minimal, though there is a minimal range on it, this can be pretty good in an emergency situation because you may be able to get into contact with somebody else in the area, maybe via a repeater or whatnot, and call for help if you need it. Now, like I said, the range is limited on these, and so I'll include some more information about them in the video description, but they're great. You can program so many different channels into these. We've already got ours pre-programmed, so we know what channels we're consistently using and switching to and communicating with each other with. And so I think this is a really good option for number 4, radio communication. Now, doesn't mean that there's not better options out there. There is, but like I said, this is very affordable, and that is why I have chosen it to be a part of my gear kit. All right, so next up, number 3, let's talk flashlights. Now the light I've chosen is my Olight S2R Baton 2 flashlight. I primarily chose this flashlight because the functionality of the magnetic connection here in the back. You can attach this thing to a metal surface, and so what I really like about it is obviously, from time to time, working on the truck, working underneath the hood, I can connect this to the bottom of my truck or the bottom of my hood, point it at what direction I'm working, and I can work with an illuminated surface hands-free, which I truly love. Now this thing gets pretty bright. I think it goes up to 1200 lumens. Highest setting, just a double click. Lowest setting, a double click. And then you can rotate through settings just by holding down that button. It also has a strobe function, which you get with 3 clicks, which is pretty cool. So a lot of functionality on this flashlight. The one con it has is it's kind of made with some cheap little clips here, and so typically I've got this in my pocket, the flashlight inside my pocket, the clip on the outside. The last clip I had broke, but thankfully it comes with 2, and so it wasn't too big of a deal. A little rechargeable magnetic connection right here in the back, so real easy to get that thing recharged. Really, really great flashlight. So next up, let's talk number 2, which is blades. Now, first up, I've got my Kershaw Link. This is made from CPM 20 CV steel, and so it stays super sharp. and I've had to sharpen it a couple times, but after sharpening it with my Spyderco kit, it is back to like that factory sharpness, which I really like. Aesthetically, I also think it's a great looking knife. I'm super big into the OD grain, and so this just really strikes my fancy. Now I also have another blade that sometimes if I just don't feel like having two in my pocket, if I only want to have one in my pocket, I have this Leatherman Skeletal. Now what's cool about this is the blade isn't as nearly high of quality, though it is quite beautiful. It's got that black topo matte print on it. So once again, aesthetically, really like the way it looks. The blade's not quite as strong. It does have a serrated edge, but the reason why I may choose to carry just this over carrying both is it just kind of depends on how much I'm carrying and what I feel like that specific day. And the reason why I would choose this one over it is just the functionality you get in a multi-tool. You've got pliers, you've got screwdrivers. Inside there right now, just because I was using it the other day, I've got the flathead attached, but it's real easy to swap it out. You just pop it out, and then in the back here, I've got a Phillips head connection right there. And so that is really cool. You just get so much functionality of something like this, like a multi-tool. These things are great. I've had 4 of them. The reason why I've had 4 is I've lost 2. That's my fault. Overall, the only problem I've ever had with this knife is, like I said, the blade's not quite as strong, and I was using it on a pretty hard surface once, and I just chipped the very end of it on my last one. And you know, for me, it wasn't a deal breaker, just because I love using this knife so much and I use it so often that I decided to replace it. And so that would be my 2 options for knives. Okay, so this brings us to number 1. And number 1 for me, I may get a little pushback on from some of you guys, but we all carry them. And mine is my mobile phone. And there's a lot of reasons why something like this specific phone can be extremely beneficial for overlanding, camping adventures. Now, the 2 primary uses that I have for this phone is number first, navigation. There are a plethora of great navigating, trail finding apps that you can get on there. I'm currently using Onyx Off-Road. That is like my go-to for planning out a trip, planning out a trail, navigating while I'm out. Onyx Off-Road is awesome. But there's another reason that maybe if you're a little bit like me and you love to photograph, you love to capture your adventures on video or film or photo, whatever, having something like this on hand in my pocket at all times is great. Now sometimes, like I'm filming with right now, I've got my Sony DSLR camera, and I do take that with me on every adventure, but sometimes gear can get in the way, and if sometimes I just don't want to bring it out on a hike, or if I just don't have my camera with me at the moment because I'm just enjoying being out there, something like this can still let me capture that moment or that shot if something happens while we're out and about. And as you guys can see from some of my adventures, you may not always be able to tell, but I'm throwing in tons and tons of clips that I shot on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. And the reason why I chose this specific phone is there's a lot of creative tools that you can use in the camera settings. You can adjust the aperture, you can adjust the ISO, the shutter speed, and that's a step above a lot of the past mobile phones. And so this really allows me to be creative in my filmmaking without the restriction and the burden of carrying so much gear all the time. Sometimes it's good to put the extra gear down and just enjoy doing what you're doing. Now, I am a storyteller and I love sharing these videos with you guys, and so I don't want to miss the shot. I don't want to miss the moment, and so having something like this is great. Now, I do have some things on this phone that help it keep protected and in great working condition. I'm a big fan of Urban Armor Gear phone cases. Now, this is the Pathfinder series, and I've been using the Urban Armor Gear cases for forever, just because I drop my phones a lot, and I'm always working on my truck, or I'm, working in rough, rugged conditions, and I'm putting my phone down on a rock or something like that. Just things go wrong, and ever since I've been using these cases, I haven't had a phone break. I haven't had anything happen to the working condition of the phone. Now on the front, I've got these SpyGen screen protectors, which is kind of protects that glass from getting all scratched up. Now, some people don't care too much about that. I do, because I do, like I said, a lot of creative type photo, video type stuff on my phone, and I do a lot of editing. I want to see a crisp, clear picture. I want to know what I'm sharing with you guys before I put it out there for the world to see, and I've got to have some good visibility. So keeping that glass protected is really important to me. So if you have any questions about any of the gear I showed you today, let me know in the comments below. With that being said, thanks for watching, you guys. I hope to see you out there. We'll catch you in the next video.